Who wrote the book The Parliament of Fowls? Answer is Geoffrey Chaucer. What type of book was The Legend of Good Omen by Geoffrey Chaucer? Answer is poem. When Chaucer was imprisoned? During the 100 Years' War. In which year Chaucer was imprisoned by the French? In 1360. Geoffrey Chaucer served which king? Answer is Edward III. How many children Chaucer had? Answer is 4. Who is the author of The House of the Fame and The Nun's Dreariest Tale? Answer is Geoffrey Chaucer. What was Chaucer's profession? A civil servant. Where did Chaucer bury? Westminster Abbey. What was the period of the age of Chaucer? 1340 to 1400. Who was considered inferior to man in the age of Chaucer? Answer is Oman. Which period is known as the Dark Ages? Age of Barren. What was the period of Age of Barren? 1400 to 1500. Who first developed the concept of Dark Ages? Answer is Petrarch. When William Caxton established printing press? Answer is in 1476. William Caxton is the first person who established printing press, was born in 1422. Who was the author of the Les Mortes d'Arthur? Answer is Thomas Malory. What was the first measure of prose fiction in English literature? Answer is Les Mortes d'Arthur. Which author is considered a devotee of chivalry, as it is personified by Sir Lancelot? Answer is Sir Thomas Malory. Who wrote the book The Dance of the Seven Deadly Sins? Answer is William Dunbar. Who proved that Sun is the center of all planets? Answer is Copernicus. What event resulted from the premature death of Henry V? The War of the Roses. Who reached in India in 1498? Answer is Vasco da Gama. Which literary form developed in the 15th century personified vices and virtues? The Morality Play. What was the duration of 100 Years' War? 1330 to 1453. Only a small portion of medieval books survive, large numbers having been destroyed in which occurrence? The dissolution of the monasteries in 1530. Which period is sometimes called a nest of singing birds? The Renaissance. When Renaissance stirs? In 1453. Where Renaissance starts? Florence, that is Italy. The word Renaissance came from which language? French. What is the meaning of Renaissance? Answer is rebirth. Which century is known as dawn of Renaissance? 15th. What sparked the Renaissance? The feudal system was collapsing. Who was considered as the model of the people during the Renaissance? Roman and Greek. Who lost the most power during the Renaissance? Catholic Church. Who is termed as the morning star of Renaissance? Answer is Chaucer. What was the first poet of Renaissance? Total's Miscellany by Sir Thomas Wyatt. Who wrote the novel Utopia in 1516? Sir Thomas More. When and where Sir Thomas More was born? 1478 in London. From which university Thomas More was studied? Oxford University. In which language Utopia was written? Latin. What is the meaning of Utopia? Answer is nowhere. Utopia was first printed in which year? 1516. Who translated Utopia in English language? Ralph Robinson. Thomas More's Utopia placed the blame for the society's problems on which things? Answer is society itself. Who wrote the poem The Dream at the preparation of Renaissance? Sir David Lindsay. Which writer is Catholic and friend of Thomas More? John Heywood. Who wrote the Four Ps? Answer is John Heywood. What are the characters in the Four Ps? Palmer, Pardoner, Peddler, Apothecary. Who wrote the books Treachery of Papist and King John? Answer is Bishop Bell. Who wrote the first comedy in English literature? Nicholas Udall. What is the first comedy by Nicholas Udall? Ralph Royster Doyster. What is the literary device defined as unrhyming verse written in iambic pentameter? Blank verse. Who is regarded as the father of blank verse? Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey. In real sense, what is the first comedy in English literature? Gammer Gurton's Needle. Who wrote the play Gammer Gurton's Needle? William Stevenson. What is the one stanza, 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter? Sonnet. Who is the first sonnet writer in English? Sir Thomas Wyatt. How many lines are there in a sonnet? 14 lines. When Sir Thomas Wyatt took degree from Cambridge University? Answer is in 1518. Which period is called the Golden Age of English Literature? Elizabethan Period. Elizabethan Period is named after which person? Queen Elizabeth I. What are the beginning and ending dates of Elizabethan era? November 17, 1558 and March 24, 1603, when Elizabeth I was crowned. 15th January 1559, after the death of Mary I. Which of the following is a ceremony in which a sovereign is officially crowned? Answer is coronation. What was the nickname of Mary I? Answer is Bloody Mary. What religion was Mary I? Answer is Catholic. Who was the sister of Mary I? Answer is Elizabeth I. Who was the father of Mary I and Elizabeth I? Answer is Henry VIII. Who was the mother of Elizabeth I? Answer is Anne Boleyn. Which English king had several of his wives killed in his obsessive quest for male hair? Henry VIII. Elizabeth and Mary I belonged to which royal family? Answer is Tudor. Who was the first Tudor king? Henry VII. Which country believed it had an invincible armada before 1588? Answer is Spain. In what year did England and Spain fight a famous sea battle? 1588. Which relative did Elizabeth I have executed in Scotland? Mary, Queen of Scots. What religion was Mary, Queen of Scots? Catholic. What church did Elizabeth I establish or re-establish by the law of England during her reign? The Anglican Church. Which language did young Elizabeth learn in secret? Welsh. Who issued an interdict against Elizabeth? Pope Pius V. What was the Elizabeth's close circle of advisors called? The Privy Council. Which clothes could the poor wear based on rank in Elizabethan England? Woolen underwear. In order to survive, what illegal activity did a large number of citizens pursue in Elizabethan period? Begging. Who passed an Act of Parliament in 1559 which determined the supreme governor of all things spiritual? Queen Elizabeth I. Where did people primarily dispose of their trash and waste in Elizabethan period? Answer is the streets. What science did they utilize in trying to predict and control the future in Elizabethan period? Answer is astrology. What was a strictly forbidden subject in Elizabethan period? Criticism of Queen. For which the Tower of London was used in Elizabethan age? As a prison. Elizabeth was known for which characteristic feature? Answer is stingy. What was a favorite entertainment in Elizabeth's court? Answer is jousting. What disciplines most fascinated Elizabeth? Astrology. What was glove? An Elizabethan theatre. Elizabethan tragedy was centered on which thing? Answer is revenge. The Elizabethan age was replete with what? Songs and lyrics. When Elizabeth died. March 24, 1603. When Elizabeth died at the age of 69 in 1603, how many years had she reigned? Answer is 45. Elizabeth's reign was longer than that of any other Tudor. A good face is best letter of recommendation. Who told this? Elizabeth I. Complete the quote by Elizabeth. Anger makes dull men witty, but it keeps them dash. Answer is 4. What is the type of poetry which deals with the abstract and philosophical subject? Answer is metaphysical poetry. What is the meaning of metaphysics? Answer is beyond the physical nature. Who used the word metaphysical first? Answer is John Dryden. What are those 16th century English playwrights called who were educated at Oxford or Cambridge universities? This is the homework. Try to answer the question and watch our next video. Thank you.